Power 93.7 WBLK. I'm Yasmin Young. This is the 2 to 6 takeover. Today is the 2nd, right? Meaning that rent was due for most of us on the 1st if you are a renter. Now, Governor Cuomo put in place a 90-day suspension of rent. We're going to get to that in just a second. But I wanted to reach out and connect you with some resources because you know what? The honest truth is some folks may have lost their jobs. That might be you, and you might be struggling and trying to figure out how you're going to make rent this month. I have the pleasure of having the commissioner of the Erie County Department of Social Services, Marie Cannon, joining me today. Thank you, Marie.
Thank you for the opportunity.
So let's talk about what Governor Cuomo's order to suspend rent for 90 days really means to renters.
First of all, if people have the opportunity and the wherewithal to pay rent, I honestly would encourage them to pay rent because when the 90 days is up, they're going to owe the back rent. But what it means for people who may have recently lost their job or, they're just trying to make it as best they can is that their rent has been waived, which means also the evictions have been waived. So no one should be evicted during this time. All evictions that were currently in process actually have been suspended, and all new evictions that were coming up were suspended. So nobody during this time, based on the governor's executive order, should be evicted from their household.
Okay, so for those people who can pay rent, they should pay at least what they can. For those people who may not, who may have lost their job, they're just struggling to even get food on the table, are there emergency resources available to them?
Yes. So one of them is in terms of food stamps. That's one of our emergency services, but that actually is also long term. So we have people can apply for temporary assistance, which means, they lost their job and they don't have any income. You can apply a number of ways. Part of us trying to keep people safe, both the clients and our staff, is that we've made everything possible where people actually don't even have to come to the Department of Social Services. They can go online at erie.gov, temporary assistance, and request an application for temporary assistance. They can call 858-8000. Again, that number is 858-8000 to request that an application be mailed. Then they can return the application to us by mail. And that would be Erie County Department of Social Services, TA, P.O. Box 120, Buffalo, New York 14201. So there is temporary assistance, which is cash assistance available. There is SNAP, which is food stamps that will be available. There is health insurance through Medicaid, and actually most people actually go to the New York State Health Exchange for Medicaid. Erie County is no longer the conduit to take Medicaid applications. They are taken online now.
Okay, so that takes care of a lot of folks' worries for the temporary, moment. What about long term? Because for some people, this may be if they're a, let's say, server or bartender or right. One of these industries that has really been affected very hard by the coronavirus pandemic. Are there more long-term programs or long-term assistance that they might be able to utilize?
So initially we call them emergency services, but if somebody has a continued need for them for temporary assistance or SNAP or Medicaid, they will actually be able to receive those services until they're no longer eligible, and you become no longer eligible when your income goes beyond the income guidelines. So even though we call it temporary assistance because it was designed just for a short period, but you're right, in this time frame, we don't know how long this is going to last, and people might not get called back to their jobs because businesses have closed. So they will actually be able to receive temporary assistance up to, it's actually 5 years that somebody can receive temporary assistance. And SNAP is, which is food stamps, formerly known as food stamps, is as long as people need it. So although we call it temporary and emergency services, that's who we're seeing coming in the door now is people who have never been part of the system, but because they lost their job, their business is closed, or, they were sent home and put, because of the pause, New York, but they're not receiving pay yet, then they could apply. But it is long-term, up to 5 years. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Commissioner Cannon, I just want to thank you for giving all of this information and these resources out, because this really means a lot to people who are struggling right now. So thank you for taking the time to talk with me so that we can connect people with these resources until they get back on their feet. And, thank you to your entire staff. I know Erie County has been handling this so well as anyone can. Nobody is ever prepared for this, but you guys have been on top of things, and I appreciate you being there for us and for the community. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to share what is available. And again, we would just say go to our website, erie.gov, and Erie.gov temporary assistance, or they can call our hotline at 858-8000. But if they go to the website, it will have every department, because we have a SNAP call center, and they could specifically go to SNAP. But thank you for the opportunity to share the support we're able to provide people in this time.
And if you missed those links, I've got those on our website, WBLK.com.